I'm super stoked to get on here and give this talk, and hopefully maybe inspire some more people to be software engineers, do computer stuff. It's a super fun field, and I absolutely love it. Like Milo said, I'm a software engineer, and I work at a company called Roblox. Have any of you guys heard of Roblox before? I think some of you might have. Milo told me. You can feel free to type in the chat, and I'm looking at it as we go through. So, oh, Cameron says yes. Awesome. So for anyone who doesn't know about Roblox, oh, lots of yeses. Awesome. It's a platform for anyone to create and play video games or other virtual experiences. It doesn't have to be a game. It could be like a virtual concert, anything like that. And the long-term goal of Roblox is to create something called the metaverse, which is basically a completely virtual world where people can gather to play. So let's see, I'm going to present a few different things. I'm going to talk about my job. I'll talk about what I do, what software engineering is in general. And then I'll just talk a little bit about sort of how I got here and my education and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk about typical day. So first thing in the morning, so we don't really have set schedules per se. I mean, everyone's expected to work, like about 8 hours a day, but it varies a lot. So usually I'll start around 8 or 9 in the morning. Sometimes early if I wake up early, or sometimes later if I'm doing something in the morning. So I'll check my email. I'll check Slack. Slack is just a big messaging system that we use. I don't know if you guys have used Facebook Messenger or texting, but Slack is kind of like that, but on steroids. It's like way complicated, and there's tons of fancy yes, exactly, it's like Discord. Great comparison. If you guys have used Discord, it's a lot like Discord, but it's for companies, so it's more serious. And then I also check the dev forum, and the dev forum is Roblox specific, and that's a place where people who create games on Roblox, we call them devs or developers, and there's about, I think, 7 million of them. There's a lot of them. People who create games on Roblox can ask us questions. They can talk to each other about problems they're having or new ideas or show off cool inventions. So I always check the dev forum in the morning, especially there's a category where people report bugs. I always check that section because that's usually where I interact with people and talk to them about various bugs. So most of my day is some combination of these 3 things: design, experiments, and coding. So those look, a decent amount like the software engineering components we talked about at the beginning. So whenever we're introducing new features, we always sketch them out first. We always do design and decide actually what we're going to do before we start building it. And a lot of times design is guided by experiments. So if I'm maybe trying to make our physics faster by making our, let's say, when you're doing this physical simulation, you're doing a ton of math, and there are different ways you can organize your numbers to make things faster. So say I'm trying out 3 different ways to make physics faster, and then I'd run a bunch of games and I'd collect data, and then I'd look at the results at the end and figure out which design is best if we're just trying to optimize for raw speed. And then I also do a good amount of coding. So maybe I'm coding a new feature like a faster network communication, or maybe I'm fixing a bug. Like this person is saying that, whenever I drop I throw a ball in Roblox, it just flies straight up instead of following a normal trajectory. So that would be a bug. Okay, so let's talk about what I like about my job. So I think right off the bat, something that really is a lot of fun is that we cover a lot of different areas of computer science. So obviously I deal a lot with networking. I also deal a lot with low-level systems programming, which is, let's see, it's basically when you're programming a little closer to the hardware, and I really enjoy it because you have to keep in mind what the computer is doing under the hood, and it's super enjoyable. And also there's little bits of linear algebra, little bits of physics, although less. I'll explain more about that in the Q&A, but I do less physics and more networking stuff. That's a lot of fun. So we have a lot of autonomy at Roblox, which means basically, so, my team always has like lists of things to work on. And sometimes there are projects that the upper management wants us to work on. But a lot of the time, it's actually our responsibility to go out and find things that we can improve or find, ideas for new features. And I think that can be unusual in the software engineering world. A lot of times it's very top down, meaning that the upper management dictates exactly, what projects you can work on. But that's not really the case. Is that I basically, if I have a good idea and, I can support it with evidence that it's a good idea, I'm free to pursue it. Yeah, so that's great. I really enjoy that. Friendly coworkers who know more than I do. So this is a key point that I have learned, I don't know, in the last however many years, especially in college and working after college, that when you're around a lot of people who know way more than you learn more. I mean, it might sound obvious when you put it like that, but I don't know, getting out of your depth, getting out of your knowledge base, your depth can be uncomfortable in the moment, but it can be a really great way to learn. And it helps if everyone's friendly. So that's always nice. And the last is the Roblox. There's just a huge amount of people who do really awesome stuff on Roblox, like using the tools that we create. And I think it's just really exciting. I mean, there's not much more to say about that. It's just, I guess it's really gratifying to see things that you build get used places.